Hello. So this episode of Will Chiropractic Fix It is from a question that Vern posed. So slip discs. We, as chiropractors, yes, we can absolutely help it, fix it. But let me break it down real quick. So hang out with me. So a slip disc, as people call it, is usually the disc itself that has been somehow either misplaced or squished. So if you imagine our discs between like the vertebrae, they're like jelly donuts. And a slip disc is it's been like squished over to one side due to a number of factors. It can be from an injury, it can be from compression fractures, it can be from a tight muscle on that side that is like smashing it this way. So what chiropractors do is we essentially rebalance the structures around the disc to give it more space. If your slip disc is older than 2 years, if the injury is longer than 2 years, then what we're dealing with is not actually the disc. We're dealing with the movement pattern that you've acquired from having that injury. So say like you slipped your disc and it was like this, there we go, squished that way, and you felt that if you walked around kind of like this all the time in a weird sort of it opened up the space and created less pain, then you were going to walk around kind of tilted in that direction, trying to keep the tension off of that. So what chiropractors do is we can do two things. We give more space or realign the structure to help that disc have as much space as possible during its healing time. And or we can adjust you to kind of like reboot the system to create better structural movement patterns, and that's a longer process because you've acquired this weird wonky way of moving so your body isn't in pain. So if you have a slip disc or a bad disc from years ago, definitely see a chiropractor, and they can also recommend movement practices to stretch and strengthen, rebalance everything. I have a number of folks with bad discs that I see on the regular. I see them probably every 2 to 3 weeks, at least once a month. And I get them moving and grooving, and they go right back to their physical fitness routine. Things I would not recommend if you have what I call a hot disc, so something that, an acute disc, one that is really, really kicking your butt or is a new injury, is I wouldn't be running. I wouldn't be doing anything that is like weight bearing. So that means like lifting things, like, squatting with weights on your back. What I would be doing is as many pain-free range of motion movements. So that would be things like squats without weight. So we're talking just body weight. And you're trying to do it in the most perfect, slow and controlled, aligned way of doing things. So I'd point folks towards, say, like Iyengar yoga, which is all about alignment, or to a physical therapist who is actually really well versed in looking at someone's body and helping them realign what is kind of often wonky. Most PTs are just going to give you like, oh, you have a disc, here's the protocol recipe to get you moving and grooving again. And then once you're like less symptomatic or asymptomatic, then they're going to bounce you from the practice. There's a number of other things that I could recommend and point you towards, but there's where I'm going to begin because this is almost 4 minutes. So drop in comments if you have any questions.